Not sure if I've commented on this before or made a video along similar lines. My channel, it's been up for 8 years now, and I've made hundreds of videos, almost 900 now. So, many hours of content. I've almost certainly gone over the same ground and repeated or contradicted myself many times over, which is to be expected, not something that I'm really bothered about. None of this is actually interesting. I am coming to that, I promise. I don't make a habit of watching my older material or even newer stuff as something I would do regularly. That would be painfully boring, as I'm sure some people would find my content anyway. Well, that's okay. But sometimes, if I'm doing some research, I'll look up some of my older shit. Then maybe some content from several years ago, some of my stuff as well as other users. Then, more recent content. Yeah, I wouldn't want to give the impression here that I'm all about the research. I can be lazy sometimes. Anyway, this is what I'm noticing, given that I've got this digital self stretching back almost a decade now. I can see someone talking in, say, 2011, 2012, looks and sounds like me, says some things that I would agree with, some not so much, but he isn't me. He and I have parted ways, and I could say the same thing of the me of 2016. I do find the philosophy of self, you or I, to be interesting. Our self-conceptions can be misleading. We can be blind to things that appear obvious to other people. And of course, you can do this for various stages of life. So, in the broader sense, the 12-year-old you was a very different person to you now if you are, say, 45 or whatever. Yeah. But there's something very unique about hearing your voice maybe talking at some length a couple years ago or more. Yeah. You can see this person and you have some insight into what they were thinking. Or this other person who used to be you was thinking. I mean, yeah. Anyone can watch themselves and derive pleasure from doing so in a vain or egotistical way. But, yeah, I'm not about that. That's not what I'm describing here. When I see this other me, I'm not seeing a stranger in my younger self, but he isn't wholly familiar either. And I'm seeing and hearing several versions of him spread over time. And what I find more interesting than any of the rambly content is the effect that it has on present me, which is maybe the only me, depending on how we interpret the word real. It's not confusing or disturbing. It isn't easy to explain. I don't think I'm doing a very good job. I don't know in truth how useful or edifying it is to record yourself regularly over a long period of time. But given the age that we live in, many people, I can safely assume, have encountered some of the same feelings and thoughts as myself on this. maybe having better insights and doing a better job of articulating them. I don't know. I suppose one of the things that the mind tries to do is frame events, happenings, or the passage of time as a story, right? A narrative, with a beginning, a middle, and perhaps an end. Something to do with the way we evolved as a species, I guess. Telling and hearing stories around the fire, but my little old brain, looking at it in a cold way, there's always more than one way to look at something, but yeah, looking at it coldly, I'm telling myself it isn't really a story, it's just the action of speaking to a camera over and over for weeks, months, and years. No grand end goal to the action in the collective sense. Topic and subject matter shifts over time. Yeah, moods change like the weather. But this isn't to say I don't give a fuck about anything. I do. I have values and principles. And I will enjoy advocating for things on video that I believe in. But the channel, the process, the actions, it is not a cohesive whole, if you know what I'm getting at. But what do you know, though? There's a voice in my noggin saying, no, this is a story. It's a journey of self-discovery, and the pages are still being written. Yeah, it's a cheesy voice. I am in the habit of contradicting myself. There's always, well, not always, but there's oftentimes a polite, or maybe not so polite, argument going on in my mind between, I don't know, Mr. Spock and my inner child, if you can picture that potentially creepy scene. Yeah, could be healthy though, right? Yeah. Anyway, let me know if this made any sense at all, or if it was just complete nonsense. Maybe you've thought or felt something similar, I don't know. Bye for now, folks. Have a good one.